All right, guys. So after your test, you should be taking notes. Okay, so you need to have your student journal out. And on your table of contents, you need to put page 23, 6.1 integers. Okay, now for some of you, this might be page 24. That's okay. Just number it how it should go in your book. It's okay if it's page 24 and not page 23. All right, so here at the top right corner, you need to put page 24 and 6.1 integers. Okay. All right, so first we're going to discuss what a positive integer is. A positive integer is an integer that's greater than 0. And they can be written with or without a positive sign. Okay. All right, so some examples of positive integers would be, for instance, the number 1, that's positive, or positive 5, positive 20, 10,000. Okay, so all of those are positive integers. Okay, something else, a negative integer are less than 0. And they are written with a negative sign. Okay, so for instance, we have negative 1, negative 5, negative 20, and negative 10,000. Those are all examples of negative integers. Okay. All right. Something else we'll discuss are opposites. Opposites are two numbers that are the same distance from 0 on a number line but on opposite sides of 0. Okay. All right, so in order to do this, you're going to need to draw a number line. Okay, so mostly our number lines have started at 0 and they've only included positive integers. Well, now we're going to have number lines that have both positive and negative integers. Okay, so 0 should be in the middle. Okay, and when you count to the right, your numbers increase. Okay, so here's 0, so 1 would go to the right, and then 2, 3, 4, and you want to space them, try to space them out evenly. Okay, and then whenever you go to the left, it decreases. Okay, so right directly to the left of 0 is negative 1. Okay, then you have negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8. Okay, all right, so for instance, if I wanted to look at a pair of opposites, it would be two numbers that are on opposite sides but the same distance. So for instance, Notice -1 is 1 unit away from 0, and 1 is 1 unit away from 0. 1's on the right, -1's on the left. So -1 and 1 are opposites. Another set of opposites would be -5 and +5. They're both 5 units away. Okay, and -10 and +10 are both 10 units away from 0. So each of those are examples of opposites. Okay? Notice that 0 is neither negative nor positive. It's neutral. Okay. All right, let's do an example of whenever these are represented in a real life situation. You're going to write the number as either positive or negative based on the situation. Okay, so for number 1, it says you gain 250 points in a game. Okay. All right, so since that says you gain, that means it increases. So that means it's positive. So that would be a positive number. So you could write that as positive 250, or you could just write it as 250 without the positive sign, and we know that to be 250. Okay. Another example of whenever you use positive and negative numbers in real life situations, an example would be that gasoline freezes at 40 degrees below 0. Okay, so 40 degrees below 0, that would mean less than 0. Well, that would be -40 because it's below 0. So that would be -40. Okay, so that's whenever you would have a negative integer. That's an example of negative. Okay. All right. In this example, it wants us to graph each integer and its opposite. So graph the integer and its opposite. All right, so the number that I want you to graph is the number 2. Okay, so you would, on your number line, there's 0, there's all my positives, and there are my negatives. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then -1, -2, -3, -4. All right, so if I need to graph the number 2, what I do is I just put a dot on the number line on 2. Okay, now 2 is 2 units away from 0, so its opposite would be 2 units on the other side at -2. So you need to have a dot at 2 and -2. Okay. Number 4, let's do -8. Okay, so you would draw your number line, 0. Okay, now I went to 10. Then you need to do your negatives. And I should have made that a little bit longer. So let me wipe that out so it doesn't confuse you. Okay. All right, so -8 is right here. So I'd put a dot on -8. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units away from 0. So let's count 8 units to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that would be -8 and +8. Okay. All right, there you go. That is positive and negative numbers, integers. Thank you. Have a good day.